Hi, everyone. It's Pat and Christa here, working remotely. And we're just chatting about the current state of the market, what we see. Obviously, none of us could have predicted this craziness, um, but we do feel encouraged. And we'll kind of give you some reasons why we feel encouraged, even though the market is, or everything is just so up in the air. So, Pat, why don't you start off just talking about what's happening in China? Encouraging news there, which might be an indicator of what's coming our way.
Yeah, based on the research that we've done in regard to the after effect of the virus in China, it seems that their markets, specifically the real estate markets, have rebounded and they're almost back to what their capacity was before.
Yeah.
And actually, there's from what I've read, and I can only pass on what I've read. There's more buyers now than there were before.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly had an impact on the market, and it's way too early to say it has been a positive impact, but it certainly has. The real estate market has reacted after the virus was at its strongest point there.
Yeah, no, it's rebounded extremely well. Now we'll talk about what's happening right now in our market, and then a little bit about the future, which obviously you and I know very little about, as everyone else does. I did look though and see this past week, there were 289 houses that went on the market. Of those 289 houses, 127 of them are active under contract. So there are contracts still. Now, percentage-wise, we looked at this year compared to last year. Last year, the same week, it was about 44%. This year is 44% that is under contract. Last year, it was 38.5%. So there were more houses on the market, a little bit less, but very comparable in terms of activity. So that's encouraging to us, right? But as you all know, Governor Hogan has just given some more mandates in terms of keeping things safe. So Pat, I'll let you take it from there in terms of what does this mean for this next week in the real estate market?
Yeah, unfortunately, the unknown is coming up. I kind of believe we're heading into the worst part of this for us. So the next couple of weeks are kind of out. I did myself listed a property last week. We put it on the market. We've had two showings. I've got another property listed on the market. We've had two showings this week. I'm a little bit surprised by them. One of the properties is occupied. One is not. So we're taking the normal precautions with the occupied property by disinfecting before the showing, opening all doors, windows, and everything, and then disinfecting after the showing. And I'm a little bit surprised about not my activity as much as the other agents I've talked to are having the same kind of stuff. Lots of virtual tours going on. People are finding houses and people are writing offers on them, which is
Right.
surprising to me, but that's an indication of the need of the market.
Exactly. So the buyers that are out there, obviously, and the sellers as well, have a deadline. That's why they're out there. So the buyers that we're seeing are very serious. I actually showed someone, a buyer, a house on Sunday. A lot of activity on the house. That was obviously before this new mandate. And so that won't be going on anymore in quite the same fashion. But that one also, same thing. They were accepting contracts by Tuesday. It's under contract at this point. Really quick turnaround because of the seriousness of the buyers out there.
Yeah. Well, and my concern here is that perhaps some agents will write offers with the intent of getting out later on either the home inspection, homeowner documents, or a contingency in there in regard to the COVID virus, which we all are providing with our buyers and sellers at this point.
Yeah.
But it could get to the point where it's a little bit too early to be making the move right now. Next Thursday, whole different story, perhaps. One way or the other, going up or going down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of industries, we're kind of in a holding pattern here, except for when there's an extreme need, and that's where we become valuable to the public. We do a lot of military work. We're certified military specialists, and from time to time, we have people come into town, and they have 3 days to find and buy.
Yeah.
In that situation, we're going to have to go out and find them properties. But
Right.
beyond any extenuating circumstances, I think everyone want to sit tight for a week or so
Mm-hmm.
and see
Right.
what we're doing.
So we are considered essential, but the change in this week is that if we want to show a house to one of our buyers, we have to do it virtually. We can still go on a listing appointments, but we cannot take clients with us wherever we go. So that's one of the major changes. So we'll see what happens this next week. Pat, looking beyond, which we all need to do, when this is over, which it will end, we are very hopeful and optimistic about the market. Why is that? Is that blind optimism? It's not, but I'll let you explain that a little bit.
Well, as you know, I'm an optimist anyway. And based on the criteria that lead to a strong market,
Mhm.
I don't think we can go any other way.
Yep.
The interest rates we know are going to still be low. They're not going to raise those in the foreseeable future, which is going to stimulate buying. Most certainly, when people sit at home for a few weeks and start thinking about their lives, they are considering life decisions. And what's slowed the market down in the last year, 18 months, 2 years, has pretty much been a lack of buyers. And part of that was because there was a lack of inventory. And I'm of the opinion that, let's go back 15 days. 15 days ago, it was the hottest spring market I've seen in 5 years.
Right.
We were listing properties. We were getting multiple offers in 3 days on neighborhoods where that wasn't happening.
Yep.
Prices were going up. It was going well for the sellers. It was really a seller's market. Well, that was starting to change a little bit. And I do think that the pent up need of the buyers is going to come out. It was going to come out regardless of if we went through this or not. It was only a matter of time. And I'm of the opinion that based on all the criteria we look at, that it's going to be a stronger market when we pull out of this, and we will pull out of this, than it is now.
Right. And so there are a lot of factors that, even though we've had tremendous change, those factors haven't changed. There's still too low of inventory, great interest rates for buyers. That means a lot of activity on both buyer and seller part, makes
Mhm.
for a good market. So we will be hopeful for that. In the meantime, everyone, please stay safe. If you have any questions, of course, we would be more than happy to answer anything. And we will talk again soon.
Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy.
Okay, take care. Thanks.